On behalf of Colonel Eric B. Sones, Commander, United States Army West Point Health Service Area, and Command Sergeant Major Jeremy J. Brockway, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army West Point Health Service Area, welcome to our change of command. This morning, Colonel Eric B. Sones relinquishes command of the United States Army West Point Health Service Area to Colonel Brett H. Venable. The change of command is a simple, traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. At this time, we would like to extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests. Brigadier General Talita Crosland, Command Sergeant Major Diamond Huff, Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Jack Love, Colonel Retired Dwight Sones, Colonel Retired Bruce Sones, Colonel Andrew Hanson, Colonel F. John Burpo, Mr. Thomas Cowan, Command Sergeant Major Kenesha Lamoth, Command Sergeant Major Thomas Kinney, and Command Sergeant Major Gene Didasco. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation given by Chaplain Baron Wester.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, as we are gathered for this ceremony, I ask that you give us each a deep sense of your divine presence. Thank you for Colonel Sones and for the leadership that he provided to our community during his command. As he continues on the path set before him, continue to guide him and uphold him with your strength and bless him beyond measure. I also pray for Colonel Venable. As he assumes this command, grant him the wisdom, courage, and love necessary for the task. Bless his time here and bless the soldiers, civilians, and families of the West Point Health Service Area under his leadership. In your holy name I pray, amen.
Please be seated. At this time, Sergeant Timothy Hollingsworth, United States Army Medical Activity West Point Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, is presenting Mrs. Jennifer Sones with a bouquet of red roses for her devotion, dedication, and tireless efforts to the soldiers, civilians, and families of the health service area. Sergeant Hollingsworth will now present Christian, Gabriel, Hannah, and Jacob with a small token of appreciation for their enduring love and support to their father, symbolizing his gratitude and affection for the many sacrifices they have made during the last 2 years. Sergeant Justin Joyce, the United States Army Medical Activity West Point Soldier of the Year, will now present Mrs. Anya Venable with a bouquet of yellow roses, welcoming her to the Keller family. Among us today, we also have Colonel and Mrs. Venable's son, Alexander. The official party consists of the reviewing officer, Brigadier General Talita Crosland, Commanding General, Regional Health Command Atlantic, Colonel Eric B. Sones, Commander, United States Army West Point Health Service Area, and the incoming Commander, Colonel Brett H. Venable. The Commander of Troops for today's change of command ceremony is Lieutenant Colonel Scott R. Gregg, Deputy Commander for Administration, Keller Army Community Hospital. On the field before you this morning are the medical company soldiers of Keller Army Community Hospital, West Point, New York. The colors are presented by the Keller Army Community Hospital Color Guard, led by the Color Sergeant, Sergeant Brett Dean. Providing the musical support for today's ceremony is the United States Military Academy Brass Quintet, under the direction of Sergeant First Class John D. Castleman. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the rendering of honors. Brigadier General Crosland has deferred her honors to Colonel Sones. Please be seated. By authority of paragraph 2-5 alpha, Army Regulation 600-20, the undersigned assumes command of the United States Army West Point Health Service Area, effective 11 July 2018. Signed, Brett H. Venable, Colonel, Medical Service Corps, Commanding. The key to the change of command ceremony is the passing of the unit's colors. These colors represent not only the heritage and history of the unit, but also the unity and loyalty of its soldiers. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there also are the colors. The custodian of the colors is the command sergeant major, as the senior enlisted soldier in the unit and principal advisor to the commander. The ceremonial passing of the colors signifies the transferring of authority from one commander to another. Command Sergeant Major Brockway passes the colors to the outgoing commander, Colonel Soanes, for one last time. Colonel Soanes passes the colors to Brigadier General Crosland, thereby relinquishing his responsibilities and authority. Brigadier General Crosland passes the colors to Colonel Venable, charging the new commander with the same responsibility and authority. Colonel Venable passes the colors to Command Sergeant Major Brockway, who ensures their protection. Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Talita Crosland, Commanding General, Regional Health Command, Atlantic.
Good morning. What a beautiful day to be out here today. Commanders, command sergeant majors, community leaders, soldiers, NCOs, officers, civilians, and friends and supporters of Keller Army Hospital, please allow me to add my personal welcome to today's ceremony. And thank you all for joining us today as we witness the change of command between two extremely talented officers. Chaplain, thank you for those inspiring words. To the quintet, the brass quintet, Yusma, thank you for being here and adding a touch of class to our ceremony. And for those of you who worked hard, to include those on the formation and the team up at Keller that worked to put this all together, thank you. I realize that these ceremonies take a lot of energy and time, and it's on top of what you do each and every day. So a round of applause, please, for all that contributed to today's ceremony. So it's nice to be back at my alma mater, particularly so close to our day, which brings back fond memories. Just kidding. As you all know, the United States Military Academy has a long, distinguished history in the development of future leaders. The curriculum is mentally, emotionally, and physically challenging. The Keller Army Community Hospital and Army Medicine are both proud and honored to play a role in protecting the health of the Corps and those who teach and train and support our future leaders. As many of you are already aware, readiness is Chief of Staff in the Army's #1 priority. As USMA educates and trains leaders, the Keller team makes sure these leaders are healthy and ready to meet any challenge that they face, whether it be the indoor obstacle course or the intellectual demand of the 3rd WPR during a grueling week of finals. Thank you for the privilege and opportunity to serve this unique community. As many of you may know, our military health system is in the midst of transformation. Critical to any transformation are the leaders and teams that are charged with realizing the vision of that transformation. Today, we take a moment to recognize the phenomenal work of Colonel Soanes as we welcome Colonel Venable. Eric has brought both superior and inspirational leadership and a commitment to excellence to the beneficiaries of Keller Army Community Hospital. When he assumed command back in 2016, Colonel Soanes immediately began to operationalize his strategic vision with a focus on maintaining right balance between clinical capabilities for this community. Eric worked tireless with DoD leadership and congressional leaders and the community to make sure that the complexities and the uniqueness of this environment was clearly understood. As a credible and a balanced leader, Eric positively impacted resources for the West Point community. Further, his management of over $80 million budget renovation project for the hospital has placed Keller on the right trajectory for success in the execution of a multi-year project. Eric has led his team through the rigorous process of achieving the Army Health Management Safety 5-star rating. I say that in a kind of rolled off the tongue, but for those of you who have participated in ASMIS, you understand that A, it's not a given, and B, it's a tremendous amount of work, and it takes a leader's focus, attention, and accountability to make it happen. So thank you, Eric, well done. Keller was the first treatment facility in MedCom to adopt the New Beginnings, the DoD performance appraisal system. The implementation gave more than 400 personnel, established goals, and a clear strategic vision to ensure beneficiaries got world-class health care. Moreover, Colonel Soanes and his team unselfishly worked with the MedCom to positively shape the rollout of New Beginnings across the entire command. His willingness to share the challenges and to dedicate the time while actually executing was appreciated and made a difference across the entire MedCom. In his first year of command, Colonel Soanes, Keller his command, the patient's outpatient rating was 95.7%. That placed Keller at the top of the region and the top of the MedCom. From August of 2007 through May, the scores were 95.5, again, best in the region, and this time second in the MedCom. And Brett, my speechwriter, wrote for me to throw that gauntlet down as a challenge to you. I took it out, but clearly I just added it back in. No pressure. Colonel Soanes' impact extended beyond the installation, as he played an integral role in the support of the mobilization force generation installation deployment exercise. What that means is that as we call up our Compo 2 and 3 soldiers to get them ready in a contingency operation, we have to medically, along with administratively, create an environment to bring them on the active duty and make sure that they're ready to do that. And the Army took on that task over the last year, and Army Medicine got in front of it, working on standing up our MFGIs, and Colonel Soanes and his team drove strategic planning in support of those exercises, and as well as making sure that they had the right equipment, $1 million of equipment, in fact, to make sure that it was bought, delivered, and we're postured to mobilize if we have to. I could go on and on. I really could. These accomplishments and many more highlight the character of Eric Soanes' command and his commitment to excellence. Accomplishments such as these speak of a dynamic and innovative leadership and an equally dedicated and talented team. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible West Point Health Service area team. Thank you for thriving during a dynamic period in Army medicine. Your ability to stay focused on safe and quality care, accessible care, and supportive readiness has been instrumental and is appreciated. I'd like to also thank the West Point community. Without collaborative relationships with our teammates on the installation, Colonel Soanes and his team could have never been so successful. Finally, but equally important, I'd like to recognize Eric's family. Jen, through 21 years of marriage, you have made countless sacrifices supporting your soldier doing the things that he loved, and we, the nation, as well as Army Medicine, appreciate you. Christian, Hannah, Gabriel, and Jacob, and where's Daniel, the friend that got bounced out? Daniel, thank you all for excelling in what I think is one of the toughest jobs, and that's being our Army kid. I understand Christian just finished high school. That means you've got 1 down and 3 to go, right? Eric's brothers, Bruce and Dwight, both retired colonels, are here with their wives. Thank you. We're honored to have you here, and Eric's mom as well, Mrs. Helga Soanes. You have given the nation 3 phenomenal colonels, and I understand that your husband's passed, but he too was a servant leader, and so thank you for raising amazing officers and who's contributed. Welcome to Eric's in-laws as well, Mark and Marianne. Thank you for being here with us as well. Well, I may have gotten my start in the Army at West Point. Eric got his start in life here, literally. He was born at the now Cadet Health Clinic, Building 606, on the 4th of July, I'm gonna leave out the year, Eric, but it's the same. We have the same year. And he's a real Yanko-doodle. His dad, who recently passed away, was an infantry colonel who taught here. And I did some check to make sure he taught leadership, and that was one of my favorite classes. Had he taught terrain analysis, I might not have been able to get through this ceremony because it almost kept me from graduating. Your dad's dedication to service has clearly passed on to you and your family. Eric and Jen, best wishes in the next chapter. You and your family have been servant leaders, and we are grateful for your service. Thank you. Colonel Venable, Brett, welcome to West Point and the United States Military Academy, and welcome to your wife, Anya, and Alec, who's here with us today. It is good to see both of you again, and even better to have the opportunity to serve with you again. Brett comes from a family that serves as well. He's a son of a retired Navy captain, and although he grew up as a Navy brat, when the time comes, he made the right choice and joined the senior service. I promise you, there will be no split loyalties when it comes to December 8th, 2018, this year. The Venable family understands the role of the 12th man. Colonel Venable's bio highlights key assignments that have prepared him for today. Having served with Brett in the past, I can attest to the Keller team in the West Point community that you're gaining an accomplished leader who's up to the task. Brett, you're taking command of an incredibly talented team of committed professionals. You will have the autonomy and the opportunity to shape, develop, and impact across a diverse mission set. I'm confident you will build on the current successes while creating new ones of your own. Continue to prioritize readiness while you enable the delivery of safe, quality care to the most deserving beneficiary population. Enjoy this privilege to lead. Thank you all for joining us today. It is truly a great day to be in the United States Army. May God bless our soldiers deployed in harm's way. May God bless the United States of America. One team, one purpose, conserving the fighting strength.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander, Colonel Eric B. Sones.
Distinguished guests, family, and friends, leaving command for me is bittersweet. I guess the sweet part today was relinquishing my BlackBerry. Keller has given so much to this community for many years. Of course, I was thinking about what actually to give back to Keller, and then it hit me this morning I was unable to start my Buick Roadmaster. Actually, it would not start. Why not donate it to Keller for the transportation of distinguished guests? That will always be an interesting ride. Actually, my bitter part is leaving the organization that I truly love. I would like to thank Keller's staff for teaching me the great things you do on a daily basis. Your humble service-oriented approach to patient care is evident. You made my job easier because you paid attention to the small stuff. I really miss the exceptional team at Keller. A lot of superstars work there, and you all represent them here in the audience. But I also wanted to share a great example is on the field itself with the soldiers. Thanks to my immediate deputies, Colonel Williams Brown, Colonel Dawson, Lieutenant Colonel Gregg, Miss Phillips, Command Sergeant Major Brunel, the past, and Command Sergeant Major Brockway, the future, and especially Gail. It was neat to see God's hand in how he picked you for these specific positions. The synergy we had produced a great team. You taught me a lot through the experiences, and you showed me humility every single day. Thank you to my fellow commanders. I see Colonel Hanson here. Andy, thanks for coming out. And their teams to unfailing support to Keller over the past 2 years. A big thank you to Lieutenant General Caslin, Brigadier General Gillen, Brigadier General Jebb, Colonel Green, and Colonel Beeger. I was very fortunate to serve under these exceptional leaders. Your leadership and initiative made Keller truly feel like part of the USMA team. Brigadier General Crossland and Command Sergeant Major Huff, thank you for your continued support to Keller. I appreciate the effort you made to travel to West Point in order to join us today, and I'm sorry that my tenure under your command was so short. I'd like to thank my mother and father-in-law, Mark and Mary Ellen, for making a long trip to Green Bay and not for wearing your cheese head to the ceremony. You have been an encouragement to our family over the years. Bruce and Dwight, my brothers, as well as Dan, my adopted brother. Thank you to you and your families for your continued support over the last 28 years. Your friendships have played an integral part in my career. I know you are very busy, and I appreciate you being here today. Mom, thanks for coming. Dad would be very proud to see the family celebrating this great occasion. Thank you both for all your support and encouragement. It means a lot to me. I'd like to thank my wife, Jen, and our 4 children, which she's already mentioned, and their continual support over the years. I know having a dad in the military made your lives challenging at times, to say the least. If I'm successful at anything, it's actually due to them and their unconditional love and support. Lastly, and most importantly, I'd like to thank God, because nothing would be possible without him. I have felt his presence over the hospital, and he has truly guided me these last 2 years. Welcome, Brett and Anya. You are going to enjoy this community and the Keller family. I wish you great success. And lastly, Sergeant Major, I know your household goods are being delivered today, and your wife is with that and 4 children, little girls under the age of 7. But I appreciate all that your work ethic. So thank you very much for today and for the last 3 months. Go Army, beat Navy again.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander, United States Army West Point Health Service Area, Colonel Brett H. Venable.
Well, good morning, everyone, and what an absolutely gorgeous day to be here at Trophy Point. General Crosland, Command Sergeant Huff, Command Sergeant Major and Mrs. Love, fellow commanders, distinguished guests, family and friends, thank you for honoring us with your presence this morning. I'd like to extend a very special welcome to Lieutenant Colonel retired Andy Lankowitz, former Deputy Commander at Keller, and now CEO of St. Alexius Hospital in North Dakota. Andy, welcome back to West Point, and thanks for joining us on this special occasion. It is my great honor to stand before you today as the successor to a great lineage of hospital commanders, none of whom are better than the officer that just left this podium, Colonel Eric Soanes. Eric, congratulations on a phenomenal career, and thank you for your service to our great nation. You've clearly made a lasting impact on this MEDDAC, and I'm humbled to follow you in command. Thank you for the smooth transition, and I wish you and your family all the best as you begin this new chapter in your lives. General Crosland, ma'am, it's an absolute privilege to serve with you again. Thanks for your mentorship over the years and for your confidence in my ability to lead this remarkable organization. I will not let you down, and I promise that my loyalty is to Army football. To the band, color guard, and soldiers on the field, thank you for your impressive display of military discipline and for making this a first-class event rich in Army tradition. To the soldiers and civilians of Keller Army Community Hospital, thank you for the warm welcome. Anya and I are honored to join your ranks and to be part of such a high-performing team. Your reputation for high-quality care and patient satisfaction is unmatched across Army medicine. I look forward to serving with you and building on this hospital's rich history. I ask only one thing, and that is to do your very best each and every day to help care for the patients we are so privileged to serve. Together, working as a team, we will enable medical readiness on West Point and provide the best patient experience possible for the cadets, service members, and families entrusted to our care. In closing, I'd like to thank everyone again for attending today's ceremony and for supporting the best hospital in all of Army medicine. May God continue to bless Keller, the United States Military Academy, our Army, and our great nation. One team, one purpose. Go Army, beat Navy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing and singing of the Army song and the posting of the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for attending.